Okay, there we go. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. Mark Zicree is on the case. So, and Dave, do you notice? Dave Edison, look. Do you see? I'm wearing the shirt that Dave got me. It says Trek or Treat. And it's got the Star Trek insignia, but it's candy corn. So there you go.
Okay.
So life is good.
So should we begin by finding out if anyone has to leave early today?
Yes, before dawn.
Before dawn.
Okay, you do?
You do? Okay.
Absolutely.
So we'll start there.
And hold on, we'll just move this over here and position it. Uh-oh. No, hold on a second, guys. Where
you
did it go?
screwed it up.
I did.
Well, why did you do that?
I was trying to move it. There we are. Everyone's back. Hello. So yes, so let's start with you.
Okay.
There you go. Wait, where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Now you're up top. Go for it, Joseph.
Hey, good to see you guys. I never got an invitation, and Bonnie and I were in another Zoom meeting earlier. Thane and I usually do the Let's Do Lunch, and so anyway, so it's good to see you guys again. And just real quick, the writer, producer, director. I've been working on several projects over the years. Beginning October 1st, I submitted a revised pitch deck and material to a funding source. And so it's about a 3-month process. I may know like in January if my feature film is funded. And that would be shot in Porto, Portugal. It's a romantic action thriller, PG-13. I have quite a number of the cast attached, and things are going very well. We did 2 teaser trailers, all of that. So just been pretty busy and doing well. And I probably have mentioned this to you a number of times. I was working. I left last August of 2020. I was working for Enterprise for 5 years as a shuttle driver.
Wow.
So I averaged. I worked 3 days a week and then a half day on Saturday. But on those days that I drove anywhere between 200 to 300 miles in a single day.
Wow.
Whoa.
So to be able to come to the table was just impossible. I was wiped out. I had nothing left.
Wow.
One time I did come and I had to take a day off in order to be able to come. So but it's nice that you're doing this. And Bonnie said, I guess you may be doing a physical thing in a few weeks.
Yes.
And
We're going to.
What's the name of that place?
Patty's.
In North Hollywood.
Yeah. So we're looking to start to join the Zoom meeting with the in-person meeting. And we're trying to work out the logistics of that.
We're just trying to find out when it feels safe enough.
Yes.
Because we were about to do the in-person meeting when the new variant hit.
The COVID-D, exactly, and people were nervous about that.
Yeah, justifiably.
Right.
So our next challenge is to continue this for people who can't make it to the meeting.
Yes.
Because we didn't want to cut out the people in Chicago or London.
Yes.
So, we have to have somebody who's kind of good with tech to help us set up something where we can have both the live meeting with the people who are not able to quite make it.
Right.
And it's fantastic. Like this group that Bonnie and I were with this morning, we met through European Film Market.
Wow.
There's people. One person's from Nigeria.
Wow.
One person's from London.
Yes.
The other person's from Russia.
Wow.
From all over the world, and it's just fabulous.
That's
great. That's great. And what we're going to do is we're going to get a mannequin and hollow out the head and have the face be a screen so that when people are talking to us on Zoom, their face will be on this mannequin, so it'll look like they're there in person. It's going to be really quite wonderful.
Sounds like a spin-off for Twilight.
Yeah. Well, we're going to dress. We're going to dress. Yeah, we're going to. That's right. We're going to dress the mannequin sort of like, where you're not quite sure if it's male or female. That way, women and men can both speak through it. It'll be like that speaking stick that they had on whatever the hell it was, and etc. Survivor. So okay, great. And so, anything else you need, Joseph?
That's about it. Just doing well, and I'm just glad to be able to join you guys. And
cool.
So I don't know how you get on the list, or
David Bartlett's handling it, so he can coordinate with you, and that'll work out.
I put my email in, David.
Mazel tov. Great.
Okay.
Good.
Do it. I'll tell everyone this right now to give me an email.
Okay, we'll do.
Right now in the chat.
Great.
The table email can contact me that way.
Good. And so great. Well, 3 cheers. Good to see you, Joseph. Welcome back.
Congratulations on keeping your
Yay.
career going in other countries.
Yes,
You know.
yes, it's exciting.
Yeah, it's. I'll definitely keep you guys abreast. Thank you
Please,
very much.
please, absolutely,
Sure,
great.
sure. So if
great.
anybody would like to talk to Joseph, if anyone would like to talk to him, he has worked a lot in setting up films in other countries, especially to the south of us.
Yes,
And
yes.
is able to work those challenges.
Well, there you go.
Good for you.
Great. Well, 3 cheers. So,
Yay.
so now for those who are new tonight, we're doing a simulcast with my Mr. Sci-Fi channel and the table, just to keep things interesting, and we alternate. So, Adam, is there a Mr. Sci-Fi question yet?
Yes, we have a question from Mark Lungo.
Yay! Hi, Mark.
He wants to know if you have any comment on the Helena Hutchins tragedy.
Yes. Yes. I think there's certain things that you can kind of cut corners on when you're making TV shows and movies. Obviously, size of cast and, how expensive it is to secure a location, all those things. But one thing you must never, ever, ever cut corners on is safety. And the fact that there was a live round, there should never be live ammunition where there is a cast and crew, never anywhere near it. And so that was a huge mistake on the part of the director, on the part of the first AD. A number of crew people quit in protest of that exact thing just before this tragedy happened. I feel very sorry for Alec Baldwin because, he wasn't trying to sow mayhem, but it's just tragic in every way. But I think what the positive result of it will be that from now on, people are going to treat this very, 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 very seriously.
Well, there was a callousness, though. I think it shows, which is why IATSE is like playing with stride on the part of the producers, because people were, now it's coming out, a lot of people were walking off set because of a lot of very poor conditions, including housing and where they were staying, and that people were actually shooting live ammunition at cans, which should never be happening on the set.
Yes.
And so the producers seem to be, and when everybody walked off set, because it's a right to work state, instead of cleaning things up, they just brought in amateurs, or let's say compared to the people who walked off the set were amateurs.
That's good people.
And several, some armor people who would normally, oversee this kind of set, had already turned down that job, saying that the way it was set up was too dangerous.
Yes.
So it's like they had a million warnings.
Yes.
And they're just saying in the vaguest way, and the producers. But I think
the
producers have a tremendous amount to do with what happened.
I'm sure there's going to be jail time for somebody. But
I wouldn't know. I don't think so.
But the thing of it is that there's a million times on sets where it's a close call, where something like this would have happened, but no one would have been hit, But every now and then, like for instance, on the Twilight Zone movie set, where Vic Morrow and 2 children were killed when a explosive round hit a helicopter blade and the helicopter crashed. Every now and then tragedy happens because everything comes together in one moment to create disaster. And so, so one has to really be careful of all this. And this whole thing of the show must go on and do or die and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no. There's times when stopping is the right answer, at least temporarily, until you can get everything in place. That's hard because many people who try to make movies, they may have spent years or decades getting a movie up and running. And so, and production is a beast. It basically is like letting the whirlwind into your house. It's, you're just, trying like crazy to keep the wheels on the wagon. So I feel very sorry for everyone concerned, and of course, most of all for the DP who got killed. It was just, it's inexcusable and it's tragic. So that's my Elaine and my 4 cents. So okay, so great. So let's see. So Carol, you're at the top of my screen. So why don't you take it and say your piece?
Hi, everybody. If you think I have spiders hanging out of my ears, you're wrong.
Okay.
Put your back in your own head. Adam, is there some way I can get on each week to get this, get the Zoom thing through Safari, as opposed to, is it only Chrome?
No, you should be able to do it through Safari.
Yeah.
But Zoom is its own program.
And by the way, just one thing we ask is that people mute their mics if it's not their turn, just so we don't get a lot of cross noise and the macaws and things like that. So okay, great.
Okay, Adam, I might call you to find out how to do that. If that's okay.
Well, his people will call your people.
Yeah, my people will call you reveal, right? I don't mean to throw shade on this, but the director and owner of the Secret Rose Theater was completely vaccinated, and he got COVID and died.
Wow.
So please be careful.
Wow. Yeah.
Going back in.
Holy cow. That's terrible. Terrible.
Yeah. I know that I'm not going to get acting work unless I call my agent and say, let's go, or get a new agent. I mean, I'm not stupid. However, I cannot believe what's been going on lately. This is very interesting. Where's my little list? Script Teasers, which is a theater in San Diego, knew me from someone and called me and wants me to be in a Zoom thing.
Wow.
Right? Okay, number one. I can't believe this. Number two, this other woman who has a small film company in Beverly Hills, got a hold of my dating down book and wants to talk seriously about doing something all in 1 week, seriously doing about something with that.
Wow.
Then Sydney Lamb from the table wants me to sing "We've been for his movie.
Wow.
I know. And now this was really weird. I don't usually talk about this, but I'm also a psychotherapist. And Netflix called me not a half hour ago. I know you think I'm making this up. I swear I'm not.
I don't.
They said, we need someone for some shoot on Tuesday. And I said, well, you know what? It's Thursday, and I have to cancel a huge day on Tuesday if you want me. This is what you're going to have to do if you want me. Any session fee, send a driver to come and get me. I'm also an actress. I'm in SAG-AFTRA and Equity. You pay me my daily minimum for both things. And she went, oh, but just a second. Well, can I call you back? And I said, yeah. She calls me back. She goes, could you put yourself on tape? And I went, no, I don't know how to do that. I'm not good with that. No, I got recommended. You take me or I was really playing hardball because I know to lose that whole day plan on Tuesday. And she goes, yeah, okay, wait, we'll call you back. So I can't believe all this happened at once. I'm a little wiped out. I don't know what my priorities are, but I think I'm just going to let go and see whatever's for the best good of everyone involved. That's what will materialize with all of this. I'm letting go.
Okay.
I'm letting
go. Right. Okay.
Great.
I'll keep you all posted.
Swell. Okay. Yay. 3 cheers, Carol. Good work. So,
Carol, just one quick question. Are you keeping on top of, as much as you can, potential upcoming opportunities for you as an actor?
Well, no, because of COVID. And I mean, if my agent calls me and says, you got the job, go ahead. But I won't go to any auditions unless I got the job. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, I was just thinking because a number of actors that I know, they keep on top of things, but then they keep pitching things to their agent and say, this is going on, I'd like to be submitted for this and this and this. And, you know, to get submitted, to send in a tape and then perhaps get the job. But you know, the more, and when I was writing, I just found a lot of my own jobs and then just threw them at my agent and said, here's this, do you want to follow up or should I? And so I was extremely proactive because, you know, my agent was an agent and it really helped galvanize the man.
Wow.
You're probably right. And no, I'm wearing so many hats right now, but I mean, if I just decide to go that, I mean, I want us to stop everything and just act again. You know, but life went this way. And so, no, but thank you for your suggestion and your concern. It's flagged.
Okay.
3 cheers. Yay. Okay. So is there a Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Yes. Our next question is from the lovely Rose Kirby.
Hi, Rose.
From the UK.
Great.
She wants to know if there is a countdown to the Blu-rays and DVD shipping.
Yes. We're planning to get everything shipped out by Christmas, and we're also going to do a digital download so people can watch it even before they get it. In theory, and it's moving along. So life is very, very exciting at this moment. David Bartlett and Dave Edison have this perennial smile on their face just from the joy of knowing that they are going to be delivering such happiness to people around the world for Christmas. They feel like Santa's elves, and they just are just exuding Christmas spirit. Wouldn't you agree with me?
Santa's elves, yeah, that's my casting. Santa's elves.
That's right. Now,
I'm exuding even as we speak.
Yes, exactly, and that's what people say about you often or they'll say, "Who's exuding in this room?" Oh, it's you. And they.
And I'll be donning my Santa.
That's right.
Outfit and personally delivering some of these DVDs.
That's gonna be so great. That's gonna be so great. And if anyone wants to get elf-like slippers, they are actually auctioning a pair of Munchkin slippers from Wizard of Oz at the top of November. So it's you might want to check that out. It's going to be a unique experience. So yeah. So there you go. So let's see. I guess Nadine, you're next on my screen. If you want to take your turn.
Yeah.
Great.
How you doing?
Great.
Well, thanks. It's good to see you guys.
You too.
I'm a playwright and screenwriter, and I like to write TV pilots.
Great.
And I just went to the Austin Film Festival and had a script placed there in the competition.
Cool.
And so I'm just excited to start working with people and maybe shooting something. I'm
Great.
just open to everything, really.
That's great. So do you have any questions or anything you need specifically?
Well, I'm just wondering, like, do you guys usually all work together as a team, trying to get stuff happening?
No,
or?
not at all. Not at all. It's essentially the table is made up of thousands of members, and we all are a support structure, a community for each other. So there's no requirement to help anybody. We're just encouraging people to do so. Okay. And but in terms of our team, Dave Edison, Adam, David Bartlett, they all work for our studio, and they're all under salary. Elaine and I are the main. Our job, including writing, directing, and producing, is to also raise money for our creative endeavors, and also pitch and sell our creative endeavors. And so that's our job in terms of our own little studio / production company.
But I mean, if you said, well, I had a horror script and I knew someone who wanted a horror script, which we would never possess, then we'd say,
we might, Elaine.
But then we would try and connect you.
But
it's not like we're working as an official team. It's just, hey, if you need something, I'll try and get it for you.
It's case by case, because, for instance, I'm not going to recommend someone unless I know their work, and so then it's then it's just balancing time and so forth. So whereas I have friends who I've worked with in the industry. I mean, I don't know if you know, Elaine and I have hundreds of hours of produced network TV credits, plus bestsellers in fiction and nonfiction. And so, so basically, we know a lot about this stuff. And but the thing is, if you see someone who has skills that you like, you can suggest collaboration. That's a natural part of this process. I mean, I met David and Dave Edison, and I think Adam, I'm not sure. I don't remember, Adam, if you came in via Space Command. I think that's how you came in, or did you come to the table first? But anyway, David and Dave Edison certainly came to the table first. And Adam, did you come to the table first, or how did I think?
The table first.
Yeah. So basically, I look for people where I can, draw out their life force and leave them empty husks, and then I do that as they can all they would all testify.
So you guys have a studio, a production studio?
We have a physical studio here just south of Los Angeles in Pico Rivera, and we have also our companies in London. So we have a full-time development exec in London as well, and they're doing projects in England as well as here. So yeah. But prior to Space Command, where they gave my fans have given me over $3 million in total, I'd only worked for the studios and networks. I'd never worked for I'd never raised money before, but so I'd spent 40 years, something like that, just working for the studios and networks, so Elaine and I have worked for all the major ones. I mean, so pretty fun. So anything else? Any other questions?
One quick question.
Sure.
Do you do you look at scripts?
No. Well, I look at them to the degree that I say, oh, that's a script, and then I walk past. But
it's a time issue.
We're just no, it's not a time issue. We're just developing our own material at the moment. That's really what's up.
See.
Yeah, and I mean, we're doing something called the Showrunners Network, where we're creating 6 shows with 6 friends of mine who have all created iconic science fiction shows, like the creators of The Expanse, the creator of Farscape, etc. But that's sort of a thing that I've originated and brought in pals to collaborate with. So that's but That said, I've just written a new book called Greenlighting Yourself, where I tell people how to do exactly what I've done, and Elaine's in there too, telling actors how to act, and because I don't know how to tell actors how to act. I mean, that's what Elaine knows how to. So
Greenlighting Yourself.
Yes, it's coming out in the next few months from Silman James. So it'll be on Amazon. It'll be in every bookstore in the country.
There was a delay because of the supply chain of paper.
Well, that's what they say.
No, I think that's true. It was supposed to come out a little earlier, but they're just trying to catch up in terms of
Stuff
the
happens.
supply chain.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll be looking for that.
Thanks. Yeah, it's the best book ever. So thanks, Nadine. Good to see you. 3 cheers. Yay. Now, also, for anyone who's new tonight, the table has an email component where you can send one email out to all several thousand members and get email requests from them. It's a very powerful tool. We've been running the table for 28 years, every Thursday, in person until the pandemic, and then via Zoom. But the email component has always been a feature of the table.
And
so
before we forget, Happy Halloween, everyone!
Happy Halloween, yeah, trick or treat.
Yeah.
But
Happy Halloween.
But David Bartlett handles the table email, so one can coordinate with him and get on the email. So great. So is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Yes, there is. And then if I could take my turn anytime before 6:30.
Sure, absolutely.
Our next question is from Gregory Krug.
Hi, Greg.
And he says, do you ever feel obligated to watch a movie or show that you have no interest in just because of its buzz?
No. There has to be, if I hear that a movie's great, if the reviews are great, if the audience reaction is great. One thing I've discovered on Rotten Tomatoes, by the way, is if it gets a very high response from the movie critics, and a low response from the audience, usually Elaine and I are going to really hate that movie. So we've stopped. Like, so if it has 89% from the critics and 39% from the audience, we don't go see it, because critics are so been there, done that. They've seen so many thousands of films that sometimes just novelty will make them give a positive review of something that really doesn't work. And but as Mr. Sci-Fi, I mean, certain things are sort of obligatory, like seeing Dune. I mean, I wanted to see it. I was interested in it, but I would have gone to see it anyway because it's such a landmark science fiction piece that I should, check in as a science fiction journalist in addition to being, a creator of stuff. So yeah, so that's sort of the answer. But I never go if it's a piece of crap. I don't care, if it's getting buzz, and more I find the superhero movies less attractive to me because they seem to just follow the same formula over and over and over again, and there comes a point where you just kind of go, well, why am I watching this? So there's that. So now it's Adam Sartain, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Sartain.
Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Adam Sartain. I am an actor, a voice actor with over 78 different voices, accents, and impressions. And I also work on Space Command.
Yay.
Earlier today, I was in a video for the Smile Squad, which is a group of social media. They do social media videos and have a YouTube channel and on Facebook and Instagram and everything. So that was fun. It was a Squid Game parody that I think will rival the SNL one. Although the SNL one wasn't that great, so the bar was not very high.
Yeah.
Anyway, next week I have my first Santa gig of the year.
Wow.
Yeah, okay.
So that's going to be fun. I'm going to be in at a Sam's Club in Santa Clarita.
Wow. That'll be fun.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. And then
Adam, by the way, I'll tell you a Santa story. A friend of mine was a department store Santa, and he was very quick-witted. He was a teenager, and at one point a kid got on his lap and pulled the beard clean off. And he said, "So, you're Santa Claus. How come you don't have a real beard, Santa? How come you don't have a real beard?" And my friend Bill said, "Well, it's funny you should say that, because the other day I was carrying a bucket of water to the reindeer, and I tripped and I fell, and my beard fell in the water and it froze and snapped clear off. And so, and Mrs. Claus said, well, look what you've gone and done now. And so now I'm growing it back. And that's why I'm wearing the fake beard. You can feel the stubble, can't you? And the kid said, wow, yes, I can, Santa.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. So go ahead, please.
Yeah. Also is I'm doing the haunted hayride.
Yes.
Savvy saw me the other day. Apparently, I was on Khloe Kardashian's Instagram.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Her and her husband went through, and they took a little bit of a video.
That's great. And so, what do you play? What kind of monster or fright do you play?
I am a crazy cat lady.
Really? Oh my God.
See, I would not have guessed that.
I'm a little cat puppet. Her name's Miss Marbles.
That's great.
It's great.
That's
good.
terrific.
I actually, and I'm sitting, but I actually get scares.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What do you do with the
Only
beard?
through my voice.
Yeah.
I they'll reach towards something, and I look at them creepy, and
wow.
they're about to reach to the doorbell, and I go, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
What do they do about the beard?
I wear a mask, but the mask doesn't cover the beard. So there have been people that have mentioned the beard. But I would say, oh, I'm growing whiskers.
Well, that's fun. That's great. So go ahead, please.
It's very tiring, though,
Yes.
but it's great.
Wow.
And then my podcast is on hiatus, but there's still 19 episodes out there.
Wow.
If you haven't heard it yet, it's Inside Animation. Very good podcast. Mark is one of my guests, the third guest in, I think.
Great. That's great.
Something or other.
Yeah.
Very good podcast. Highly recommended. But I've got some new guests, a new season in the works. So that's going to be coming up next year.
Wow. That's great.
And I think that's it for me.
Cool. Yay, Adam. 3 cheers. Excellent. So good. And and one thing that just occurred to me is some of you might want to just say to the Halloween people, hey, could I do a crazed Santa? You could just be an insane guy pretending to be Santa. I think that would be.
You mentioned that.
Okay.
I might be doing that on Halloween.
That would be fun. That'd be really fun. Ride. Yeah, that's great.
At years past.
Wow, that's fun.
Yeah.
So, do we have another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Yes. Let's first off, Axonar is in the chat.
Hello, Axonar.
They haven't had a question yet, but
okay, that's fine.
Shout out to Axonar.
Yes, and
haven't seen them before.
And and one thing I want to say about Axonar, just parenthetically, a lot, the fan community can be very, very gossipy and very, very negative, and you have to be very careful of that because Axonar has had its challenges. It Paramount sued it and all this stuff, but it was always coming from a place of love, a place of genuine creativity. It was never just a con game or a hustle just to get money. That was not what it was about or where it was coming from. So I just wanted to say that because a lot of people misinterpret what it was and what its motives were. So I just wanted to chime in. Right. From my personal experience of it. So, okay, great. So
our question
yes,
is from Kevin Scott 76.
Sure.
Who asks, what is the worst casting decision you've ever seen?
Oh, there's so many. My God. Okay, the worst casting decision I've ever seen, or at least learned of, was Clinton Spilsbury in a feature remake of The Lone Ranger. Because when he had his screen test, the director wanted to hire him, and everyone's saying, don't hire that guy. Don't you see that he literally cannot walk and say a line at the same time, that he will walk, then stop, then say his line, then continue walking. And the director said, no, I want him.
He looks so good in a mask.
Right. During the filming, when he was in his off hours, he slugged a waitress and then said to the press, well, she was asking for it. And this guy's playing the Lone Ranger. So, plus they sued. They had Clayton Moore, the original Lone Ranger from television, who was a beloved figure. During the making of the movie, they legally forced him to stop wearing the Lone Ranger mask and outfit, and so they were just, their heads were up their asses the entire time. And so that's one of the worst I can think of. There's tons of other ones. I mean, if you want to see something very interesting, watch on the Maltese Falcon. They now have the 2 previous versions that were made of that movie before the Humphrey Bogart version. And if you want to see really wrong casting choices, watch the earlier versions of the Maltese Falcon. And then you're so aware of how brilliant the casting was on by John Huston on the Bogart version. So there you go. So okay, let's see who's next.
I think it's David Bartlett. I think.
David. Oh yeah, David. You want to take your turn? Nope, not yet.
No,
okay.
okay.
So Thane, do you want to take your turn?
There we go.
Yeah.
Thane Allison, SAG-AFTRA director.
Great. Cool.
Been pretty busy week. A couple of auditions and
Great.
A variety of other competing for my time.
Huh.
I like the idea of following the projects that are coming down the line, and one
Yes.
way to do that is in Google you can actually put out a Google alert for a
Wow.
particular project.
Wow.
One of which I was following early on was the Rust project.
Huh. Wow. Jesus.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, none of the roles they cast on Actors Access fit me, according to my manager, and therefore wasn't considered for anything there.
Wow. Well, that's I almost was going to say that's a bullet you missed, but I'm not going to say that.
Yeah. I have a lot of thoughts about this incident.
Yes.
I don't think it's an accident. It was an incident waiting to happen.
Yes.
You know, anytime you pick up a gun, there's only one reason to pick up a gun. You're going to kill somebody.
Yes.
And pointed at somebody, even in play or practice or whatever, it's just. I've seen Boy Scouts kicked out of the troop for less foolish acts.
Yes.
It's heartbreaking to see this poor young woman and her family.
Yes.
In the situation. So,
Yes.
I've been on sets where safety was kind of thrown to the wind, and when the third ambulance left the set,
Yes.
The rest of us sat down in the stage and said, "We're not moving until we get this straightened out."
Yes. Yes.
That's one reason to be a SAG-AFTRA actor.
Yes.
There are safety protocols in place. I
Yes.
understand that this was generally a non-union shoot, and I don't understand how people like the Star can be on a non-union shoot.
Well, it wasn't. What they said was that they had union people, and because of the conditions, they walked off.
On crew.
On the crew.
Yes.
The crew walked off, but it's a right. They were shooting in a right-to-work state, so they brought in a whole bunch of scabs, and that's who was on set when it happened.
Non-union people. Yeah.
And I shot a short film in Mexico just before COVID, and it was very lax about protocols and so on. And,
Yes.
You can yell all you want to about California and its rules, regulations, and restrictions.
Yes.
But this is what you get when you leave a state where workers are somewhat protected.
And in that regard, Thane, one thing I say in the book, and I say it often at the table, of course, is your career will be defined by 2 points along the spectrum: what you stand for and what you won't stand for. And I think it's very important to really be attuned to that, because it's like there's such a peer pressure on sets and in showbiz to say, well, just go along with this. It's okay. Just go along with the go along. Be a team player. And there's so many occasions where that's absolutely not the thing you need to be doing. So yeah, absolutely.
Early on, I was asked to pick up a 185-pound guy on my shoulder.
Wow.
And they were going to put a real noose around his neck.
Wow. Holy cow.
Shoot my legs out from under me
Oh man.
And leave him dangling. And
No.
and I just said no.
Right. And should have.
You tie a noose.
No.
Wow.
Boy Scouts learn very early to tie a hangman's noose, and then they get lectured.
Yes.
Once a noose tightens, you cannot untighten.
Wow.
And they just didn't understand that.
Yes. Well,
it was scary, and I said, "Get somebody else."
Yes.
They finally found a way around it.
Good. Good.
Besides, I couldn't pick up a 185-pound guy from bending over position. So I wasn't going to rip my back out.
No.
Wow.
But again, it's like lately I've taken to saying stupid people are stupid simply because it's so true. It's like there are wonderful experiences in Hollywood. There are wonderful experiences in creating a body of work that's meaningful. But one other thing I say is that you will not just have one chance in this business. So you do not have to be coming from scarcity or despair. You do not have to throw away your own moral code or your principles. My whole experience in my career has been that I gravitate toward people who have a moral center. And that's worked very, very well over the course of my life and career. So there you go. Yeah. So,
at any rate,
yes.
with some scripts. I think next week We Make Movies is going to show the short film I wrote, directed, and co-starred in.
Great.
Get some feedback on that.
Great.
And get in front of an audience and see what we might do to improve it.
Cool.
And the producer is saying, well, if we could turn this into a feature, it's like, okay, go get some money so we can pay the writer and the director.
Great.
Anyway,
So is there anything you need? Anything?
Happy Halloween.
Thanks.
Happy Halloween, yes.
I really like candy corn.
Yes.
Second to chocolate, candy corn.
Yes.
But haven't been able to buy any in any of the stores. So.
They have it at Target. So, but not in the Halloween section. That's the key. They have it in the grocery section. Okay, just to let you know.
I was at Target this morning, and
Now, also, I'm very surprised that the candy corn is made by Brack, because generally everything else they make, Brack is the sound you make when you eat it. It's like, so.
But they did. But we were searching and we did find it in Target.
Yes, it was great.
But again, yeah.
And Dave, do not spoil people's good time this time. Do not say what's in it. Okay.
It's not what's in it; it's what's on it.
There you go. But same difference. Same difference. Let's just say that it's great. Candy corn is wonderful.
Yeah.
So, okay.
It's diabetic. You can't get enough to.
Yes.
You don't dare eat enough to have those bad effects take.
Yes.
Sugar will kill you before all of that other stuff.
Yes, exactly.
It's been one of my all-time favorites. It's a shame that I learned what I learned what one of those ingredients are.
Yes, and then shared it with everyone.
Well, read what's on the toothpaste, what it says on toothpaste.
Yes, exactly.
And you'll stop brushing your teeth and they'll fall out anyway.
Yes.
And they go well together.
Well, there you go. Well, I think we've all learned an important lesson. So thank you, Thane.
Don't read ingredients.
Don't do anything. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Don't read the ingredients.
Yeah.
Right, no. So 3 cheers. Yay. Excellent. So, Adam, is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Yes, I found I had skipped one.
Aha.
From Daniel Dare.
Good.
He wants to know if you could post an update video about your brother, because
Oh.
you did send that video.
Yes, I just got the permission to update it. Sadly, my brother Sean died a few days ago. He was waiting for a liver transplant and suffered a major cerebral hemorrhage. And he was only 43. He has a little son and a little daughter and a wife, and it's really tragic. And I really feel that the medical establishment failed him, because someone was willing and qualified to give him part of their liver, and the person was just 2 years older than the cutoff age of 58, and they sure as hell should have done that. And so yeah, it's really dreadful. But the one good thing is that Elaine and I helped get Sean clean and sober when he was a teenager, and as a result, instead of being dead or in prison decades ago, he had a full meaningful life and was loved and worked a job and was a responsible guy and got to have love in his life. So, I mean, all of us, supposedly are, going to have our timer go off at some point and we'll be gone. And the real question is, what did you do while you were here? So there you go. But yes, it's I'll be doing a video on Mr. Sci-Fi just to let people know. But and also the family has asked me to do a video about Sean so that his children, when they're older, will get to know more about their dad. So I will of course do that. And interestingly enough, I have video that I shot of Sean when he was a little boy. So I think that's something that will be very, very meaningful to them as well. So but thanks for asking. So let's see who's next.
Should we pick up Judith?
Judith, yes, Judith.
Hi, Judith.
Go for it, Judith.
Hi.
Oh, turn on your speaker. Turn on your speaker. We can't hear you.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
You can hear me now?
Sort of, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, we've got that clicking, but
there's a weird clicking. Do you have insects in your room?
What's wrong with my computer? I just stopped by to wish you all a happy Halloween.
Thank you,
happy Halloween, yes.
I've been out of it. I had surgery on Tuesday.
Oh my gosh.
Another one.
Wow.
So that's okay. It's healing. It's just a small carpal, but I'm a little high in case you haven't noticed. I've had a little bit of medication. Whoopee.
Yay.
I just stopped by to say hello and tell everybody how grateful I am for you guys.
Well,
and like that.
Well, thanks, Judith.
I've been doing some research on one of my things, but I can't. It's really a problem because with all the meds, I have blue eyes, one blue east, one blue west.
That's funny.
They're very friendly. They keep looking at each other.
That's very funny.
So I'm going to get off.
Okay.
But I love you all. I miss you all. And I'll be fine by next week.
Okay,
thanks for joining us.
Feel better.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Thanks for joining us, Judith.
Yes, happy Halloween. Yay. 3 cheers.
I'm going to send my attendant to get me some candy corn.
Great, terrific. Thank you. So is there another Mr.
Take care. I love you all. Bye.
Thanks, bye. So is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Yes, let me get to here.
Okay,
actually, yes, we have a Scott Baker question.
Hi, Scott.
He asked, would the script for Requiem for Methuselah, as written, be accepted today?
I'd have to watch that episode again. I love James Daly in it. I know there's this sort of like robot girl or something in it. God knows. I mean, all of Star Trek, the original show, would probably be like not accepted today with its view toward I mean, that's right. Jay Leno I saw Jay Leno talk about Star Trek in a on live performance. And he said the thing about the original Star Trek is that every week it seems like they go to the planet of the space hookers, so because of the way, women are treated and dressed. I mean, it's, there's that. But still, I mean, I think almost any piece of artwork, you take the good with the bad one way or another. And Star Trek is no exception. But you certainly couldn't do those scripts, many of them, as written now. You'd have a problem. So as opposed to the Twilight Zone, where many of those scripts you absolutely can do. I've seen them on stage as one-act plays many a time, and they really work. So it's interesting how that goes. But Rod Serling and Gene Roddenberry were very different people. Rod was very much, he was married. He had 2 loving daughters. He got married right after World War II when he was in college to Carol Serling. They stayed married until his death at age 50. Whereas Gene Roddenberry, Majel Barrett was his mistress at the time of Star Trek. He cast her in one role, and the studio didn't like her, so he cast her in another role. But it was like, and then he divorced his wife Gloria and married Majel. But he was much more kind of like a womanizer, and that shows up in the aesthetic. The fashion aesthetic, particularly of Star Trek, but that's as maybe. But there's still brilliant costumes. I mean, William Ware Tice, who did the costumes in Star Trek, was a genius, and there was nothing. His design sense was unique, and he was really phenomenal. Okay, so let's see. So that was the answer to that. So Bonnie, you want to take your turn?
Okay, good to be here.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween, all.
Thank you.
Just working on different songs and things. I know. I think Dave will probably talk about. It was another clip that he posted. From the "You'll Be Okay" from Michael's movie, and
okay.
Yeah, just a lot of songwriting and waiting on a couple different film projects and just a lot of different stuff.
So is there anything you need?
Just one thing is, November 6th, there's a composer concert.
Oh, cool.
From, it's called Hear Her Score, and it's from the music sorority that I'm in.
Wow.
And that'll be in Burbank, so I'll post that to the
great.
To the list.
Cool.
And I have one piece that I'm playing, and I'm also going to play someone else's, perform someone else's piece.
Wow.
Sure there are other things, but just anything musical you might need, and
cool.
I'm here. Thanks.
Yay, Bonnie. 3 cheers. Thank you. So is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam?
Yes. Kevin Scott 76 has a follow-up to his previous question.
Okay, go for it.
He wants to know, what's the best casting decision you've ever seen?
Well, I'd say my best casting decision ever was Christina Moses in World Enough in Time. She was a phenomenal actress. She had never done TV or film, just stage. And Elaine and our casting person said, she's the one. And they were absolutely right. She was spectacular. And I'm thrilled that she's starring in A Million Little Things on ABC now, that we really gave her start. And in terms of other than me, Jose Ferrer and Cyrano de Bergerac is great. Certainly Shatner and Nimoy and DeForest Kelley were perfect. I mean, it's very interesting to compare the first Star Trek pilot with the second, because the second one, and they didn't even have Kirk, Spock, McCoy in the second Star Trek pilot. They had Kirk and Spock. First Star Trek pilot had Spock, had a different, and Jeffrey Hunter as the captain. But there's this miraculous thing, and you really can't control it. You can try to achieve it, which is chemistry. And you hope for chemistry. And with Kirk, Spock, and McCoy, that triumvirate really had it. And it was 12 Angry Men is very, very good. Yes. One of Elaine's favorite movies. It's,
Well, the casting for the film was just amazing.
Yes.
Martin Landau and Ed Wood.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, as Bela Lugosi, he was terrific. I mean, you can go down the list. There's endless great casting decisions in TV and film. Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart. That's something like, we always talk about older actors with young starlets and how ridiculous that is. And yet when Humphrey Bogart met Lauren Bacall, it was just perfection. Perfection.
The cast of Grapes of Wrath.
Jane Darwell was great. Yeah, Jane
and
Darwell
and
Henry Fonda. Yeah. There's a lot of them. There's just a lot of them. And,
brilliant casting.
Yeah. So there you go. So, okay. So let's see. So I guess, Savvy J, it's your turn. Go for it.
Hey, perfect timing.
Yay.
I got a dip in a few minutes. I've been doing really well. It's good to see that everybody's doing well. I'm super excited for Halloween. I'm sure everybody else is.
Yes.
I have a project that I'm doing in a week.
Great.
Well, not in a week, in a few days,
Cool.
but it's going to take me about a week. And it's all coloring. It's my first time doing something color like this. Universal's going to finish coloring. It's crazy. So I'm excited, but I'm nervous, but I'm excited. And then I'm doing another project that I'm working on. I don't know, it just feels good to have extra things on the side. So yeah, my life right now is going to be really busy, but is exciting. And I guess my pitch, my ask would be, a friend was interested in me editing, and then last minute she went, psych, no, I'm getting someone else to do it. So if anyone has anything, especially if it's narrative or coloring specific that they want edited, or knows someone who knows someone, send it my way. I'll put my email in the chat. But so that's all I got to say. It's good to see everybody.
Lovely. Please put that into the, onto the email list, that you're available as an editor, because there's, I keep seeing requests.
Yes.
So put it out there, because I know there's a lot of requests for editors.
Yes. So anything else you need?
No, that'll be it right now.
Okay.
Yay.
Cool. Yay. And before we move on, I'll mention something fun. I take every day in the afternoon, I take the dogs to the dog park around the corner. And the other day I saw a cat carrier, and I thought, wow, I could definitely make use of that. Not because I have a cat, but because of the shape of it, I saw possibilities. So I ordered one from Amazon, and this is what arrived. And if that is not a great space helmet, I don't know what is. So I was cutting out the bottom of it to put it on one of the spacesuits over there, and but that's really cool. I love that kind of stuff. So great. So is there a Mr. Sci-Fi question, Adam? So that sort of was the question.
Yes, we have a question from Enhaxed.
Great.
Who wants to know what you and Elaine think about Foundation.
Yes, I'm about to do a video on that. What do you think of it?
About Foundation?
The movie. I mean, the TV show.
Which one is that?
It's where they're the Foundation, and there's the planet Terminus, and there's the girl with shooting everybody, and they run a lot.
Oh, that would be more in Mark's territory.
Yeah, it's extremely, it's gorgeous to look at. It's beautifully designed. The casting's very interesting, but the problem is that Isaac Asimov wrote a trilogy about this, vast time frame in which characters really don't recur, and so in doing it as a TV show, they had this emperor who keeps getting cloned and so forth, and they're trying to have continuing characters. It took a long time for the thing to get up to speed. The first few episodes, it was like, Jesus, is anything going to happen? Now it's kind of got a little bit of a momentum going, but the jury's still out. I watch it. I don't love it, but it's got some really cool things in it. I like the spaceship design. I like the visual effects. We'll see, but it's very hard to get everything to work in a science fiction TV show or movie. Oh, hold on, I'll grab the door. Someone's at the door. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we both had he appreciates a lot of
that's great.
A lot about science fiction, whereas I'm just the character person. So if it's weak in character, I'm kind of at a loss. So
yeah, corn chip delivery. No, actually, our neighbor said these are too spicy for him, so we'll see if they're too spicy for us. They probably will be. So, but yes, the Foundation is worth checking out. It's on Apple TV. But For All Mankind, which is Ron Moore's show, is really, really good, and I recommend that. Ron did Battlestar Galactica, and then of course Star Trek: The Next Generation. So okay.
If you will please excuse me for
goodbye.
Just a few 5 minutes. My dog is haranguing me again.
Yes.
And I will be back very shortly.
Yes, Elaine's going to the dogs. So, okay. So, Cherie, I guess you're next if you want to take your turn.
It was funny talking about all that gun stuff because I've worked on 2 like independent shoots where, there were weapons, but, there was no person in charge of them.
Wow.
It's just, I lived in Tennessee for a while. Everyone there had guns and asked me if I had a gun or if I knew how to shoot. And I'm like, no, I'm from California. And so they had to show me how to shoot. Like I had a Green Beret show me how to shoot a gun. And I had a guy that was a mayor of a small town in Tennessee show me how to shoot a rifle. One of his guns. It was just really weird.
Yeah, it is.
I don't come from that kind of background. But anyway, let's see. I put out an email this morning for readers for my table read that we're going to do in a couple of weeks, and I've had 3 people sign up for it already, which is good. I still need more. I need more male readers. And I'm working on my lighting projects. I've got just a whole bunch of stuff coming up with my lighting class. So
cool.
That's pretty much it. But I am looking forward to the table read.
Great. And when you said you put out the word, did you put it out on the table email?
Yes,
Good.
I did.
Good. And sometimes one can put out follow-up emails. So you can say, I've got such and such rules cast, but I still have these open, because not everyone reads every email. And so sometimes they think, I'll catch up sometime later. And so you'll get different people at different times. So definitely, put it out again if you need people.
Yeah.
You bet. Okay, 3 cheers. Yay. Good luck. So, Adam, is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Let's see. I think I saw a Scott Baker. Yes, a Scott Baker question.
Good.
He wants to know, how would you rate the story, not the cast additions to dialogue, of the Rocky Horror Picture Show as a social commentary in the sci-fi tradition?
it's a really fun movie. Susan Sarandon's great, and Tim Curry, of course, is it's his iconic role. I haven't watched it recently enough to really be able to say much about it, other than the songs are great, and the it's definitely playing a lot with science fiction tropes. And certainly the song science fiction is great. You really have to know your 50s science fiction movies to understand those references, but they're great when you know them. Dana Andrews says, prunes gave him the runes. If you've ever seen Curse of the Demon, that's a very special meaning. So, okay. So, it's fun. It's fun. I like it. I approve of it. Some actors go from role to role to role where they're great. And some actors have that one role that is their great role, whether it's Thomas Hulse in Amadeus or Tim Curry in Rocky Horror Picture Show. Certain actors is like there's the one role that's just great, and that was Tim Curry's. He's been good in other things. I mean, he was interesting in Legend. He, of course, was the first clown in It years ago. But so that's my thought about that. So let's see. David Bartlett, did you want to take your turn now? Great.
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm David Bartlett. I am a filmmaker, a human rights activist, and a teacher, and a producer of Space Command.
Yay!
I have my background is I made my first film when I was 10 years old. I moved to LA after a bunch of high school and a little bit of college and quite a bit of working in movie theaters. In 1980, started working right away on some very big films as an intern and some small films, low budget films, building sets. Roger Corman's New World Studios. I worked on sound design. I worked on Pulp Fiction and Speed and Total Recall and Predator 2 and Hoffa and all kinds of fun stuff. And then I stopped doing that and started working on my own independent films. And now I have 64 film festival awards. So if you ever need any help with any of that kind of stuff I've just suggested, you can ask me. I have been around the world twice with a human rights activist, shooting videos and stills for her, a group called Youth for Human Rights. And I saw some very amazing children and orphans on that trip. That's worth another long story someday. But it was kind of life-changing, to say the least. And when you see a group of 50 young girls who have been rescued from human sex trafficking and sit and talk to them and watch them put on a show for you, you tend to look at life differently than you did at one time. So that's the human rights part of it for me. So I am working on shooting a short soon.
Great.
And it needs some people helping with sets and also on the set. And if you want to learn how to make films on any level, including if you're experiencing one field and you want to go up to another level of a field, I'm particularly fond of putting my teaching hat on and helping people do that. So if you're interested, I'll be doing that in shooting in December and prepping it in the next 6 or 8 weeks. So, which is December. So now's the time. So you can write to me at davefilms@hotmail.com. That's DAVEFILMS@hotmail.com. And you can send me a note and we can get together that way. Now with Space Command, Space Command is also building sets and getting things prepared for shoots that are coming up here. In fact, we had a big meeting at the studio today about that very thing. And if you have any experience with the lighting of LEDs or with painting or with carpentry, or just want to come and help out with maybe a little wardrobe preparation, going through some costumes. If you are a person who can alter costumes, we have one particular costume that's being very pesky. It doesn't want to fit anyone. I've had women who are like zeros and teen size women, and this thing is still too small for them. So I'm always looking for someone to fit this piece of wardrobe.
I think we're just gonna have to start over and make a costume that works, frankly, on that one. But we could probably give that.
I also might be able to rip the seams out and make it big enough to fit someone, but I have to have someone to try it on and model it.
Yes.
But that's a more minor thing. But we have all kinds of studio things happening. So you can write to me in my email. Check it out that way. Cool. Then we've got the table email. Table email is what probably most of you are on. If you're not, you can get on this way. Table email is 2,000 people all over the world that are connected to each other through the table. that means everyone on that table email is someone who's already a table member and is directly connected to someone who had to be advised and promoted to become a table member and recommended as like a guest, like all of you did. So they're trustworthy for the most part, and if not, they get leased very quickly. But right now we have a very clean group. I'm very happy with the table group that we have right now. It's very nice and fun to be with. So if you want to help each other, I recommend it. I think that I just put in my hat in Cherie's world to help with her table read, because I haven't done any acting in a long time. It might be fun to pitch in and do that. I'm good at the stage directions. I'm particularly good at the hero's best friend roles, the villains, and on occasion certain animals, and I give a really good dog. Judith can answer that for you. I did a dog for her and stole the show. So anyway,
good.
Then the table email is get yourself a first and last name with an email that's not Yahoo. Full first and last name. It can be numbers, but don't have any nicknames or shortened versions of things. Put that up there. I will send it through and get it done to you. I think there are 2 people that wanted table emails earlier in the evening, and I might have already gotten them set up for them.
Cool.
So it's fast.
That's great.
Don't mess around. So that you can send to me too. And any other questions or problems you have with table emails, or folks that are giving you grief, or folks that you really want to meet, or anything like that, I suppose you could just send me whatever you like.
Great.
That's it.
Yay, 3 cheers. Ladies and gentlemen, David Bartlett. There we go. Great. So I guess Adam has departed the field. Is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question, David?
Well, I didn't realize he was doing that. So I am behind the loop. So let me go get 2 of them. Why don't you do someone else in the meantime?
Okay. You bet. So Dave, you're next on my screen.
All right. Hello, everyone. Dave Edison here.
Great.
I'm the editor of Space Command.
Yay.
About that this evening. And those of you on the Zoom call, you can see me looking off here. I'm working on a scene that's the climactic confrontation of the film, and there are a bunch of shots in here that just need a little bit of refinement. So I've gotten some new VFX to put in there. So, for example, there's a space view screen. I'm trying to put the Earth outside of that window. So just patching things up, and we are racing towards the delivery of the 2-hour feature that combined episodes 1 and 2. At the very least, as a digital download, we're gonna do our best to try to get the DVDs and Blu-ray discs to those who've ordered them by the holiday. Marco Dashowitz, who's on our screen here, is working on the DVD extras, the Blu-ray extras, and I'm sending him pieces of that. And other than that, it's just been extremely busy. As Bonnie mentioned,
We've got about 9 new shots from Christian today that are a lot of problems for us all.
Okay, great.
I downloaded them. I downloaded them just before the table, so I will get to adding them when I have one of those rare moments.
So Dave,
you're saying, Mark?
Elaine and I were going to sit down tomorrow and watch 101 and 102. Should we wait until you send us a new version of 102?
Yeah, definitely a new 102. There'll be a lot of new stuff in there. Go,
great.
That's where that guy. That was missing.
Good.
That shot was. that floor is now at the
Good.
That floor is now at the right angle.
Good.
So
great.
Yeah. So
love
I'm
it.
doing that now. As Bonnie mentioned, hi Bonnie. We've got Michael Charles Lopez's film "You'll Be Okay." It's a short film that several of us here at the table worked on. Marco Dashowitz did the color correction, and Bonnie did the music, and I was the editor on this project. And Tamir Yardeen, who's not here right now, is the director. Mike Lopez is in it, and Mike, excellent timing. Did everything about this film before he went and died.
Oh Jesus!
Which is like, so we're all feeling the loss of this guy, because he would really like to know that his film is in the San Francisco Transgender Film Festival.
Wow, that's great.
It's slate 4 of the projects that are up there. It happens to be, it only runs 17 and a half minutes. It happens to be the longest film in that particular slate by a few minutes. And So we'll see what happens there. The voting is in November, I think 11th through 14th, all online. The film is also in the Tokyo Shorts Film Festival, and it won something. I'll check the email. We haven't heard what, but it actually got a prize. So Mike's first prize for his film.
Wow.
It's also in the Berlin Short Film Festival, and so it's a nice little piece. I put a link on the in the chat here.
That's
not
great.
Quite ready for public yet. When it is, I'll put it in the Mr. Sci-Fi link. But for friends and table members, I'll put a link up if for those of you who'd like to see it if you haven't.
Okay.
Other than that, I have a film that I edited. It's a film music video a couple of years ago. That's in the New York Dog Film Festival. There happens to be a dog in it.
Great.
Which really made it easy. And so that's coming up in November as well. And I just found out that a film that I edited in my copious free time earlier this year, a very small independent sci-fi feature called Fear Frequency, has got a place in the Los Angeles Horror and Sci-Fi Film Festival. So hopefully that will help them find. They have a distributor, but hopefully it'll help them get the film out there. So it's been mondo busy, but I am still vertical. Hoping you are too. And enjoy Halloween. Happy Halloween, one and all. My favorite holiday. And yes, and I may even have a little bit of candy corn this year.
Yay!
I'll just pretend I don't know what's in it.
Yes.
Or should I say on it?
Well.
Anyway.
Yay! So, trick or treat.
Trick or treat, Mark. Trick or treat. And if you've got any new, I sent you a text on this, but if you've got any new of your Twilight Zone minutes.
I do. And there's one that I made it. I don't know if I sent it to you. It was Nightmare as a Child. Did you do that one? Do you remember it?
I'm going to let you in on a little secret here.
You don't watch them.
These things.
Yeah. Well,
unless it's a correction to be made, I generally don't. I have a template. I put them in. I drop them in a template. I make the adjustments that need to be made, and I export them to you because you've got me busy on other things.
What comes to mind as a comment, as a response, is something that a friend of mine told me years ago. I was friends with Randolph Lowell Dreyfus, who was Richard Dreyfuss's cousin. And when Richard Dreyfuss first made it big, he had a picnic for all of his relatives, and he had printed up Richard Dreyfuss fan club T-shirts for all of them to wear. And Randy, of course, refused to wear it. And Richard Dreyfuss got really mad and said, "Put it on, you ungrateful cur."
Well, I don't know how ungrateful I am.
No, you're a dear in my heart. I am wearing the shirt you bought me. And you know that's my life is wonderful, and you are a big part of why it's wonderful. So there you go.
I'm glad to be there. So So send me more.
I will.
Not Mr. Sci-Fi's Twilight Zone minutes.
Yes.
And I'll turn them around. We watched one yesterday that I had never seen.
Which one?
We watched Printer's Devil.
Yes, Burgess Meredith. That's one of the hour ones. Those are by and large less frequently seen than the others. Twilight Zone had 5 seasons. All but one of those seasons, the show was a half hour, and then the 4th season for 18 episodes, it was 1 hour episodes, and then it went back for the final season to the half hour form, which was the ideal form for it. So yeah,
sure. But Meredith was great in it.
Yes,
and just and some things you couldn't do these days.
Yes,
the way he addressed the waitress in the diner.
Yes,
and such. We also saw a film that was just horrible. Probably good in its day, but we saw The Illustrated Man, which I had never seen.
Problematical.
Yeah, problematic. I could see it working
right
on paper much better. Literally on paper.
No.
And we
go ahead.
I was going to say, and we caught a couple of the night galleries who are trying to do these Halloween type things.
That's great.
So
well, definitely
one directed by one directed by Leonard Nimoy, and the one with Vincent Price. I think both from season 3.
Yes.
And you know what? It doesn't hold a candle to the Twilight Zone.
No, it doesn't. But there's several really good scary episodes. There's one called The Doll that's very, very good. There's one called Green Fingers with Elsa Lanchester that's very, very good. And there's one called Caterpillar that's really, really good. So those are 3 that I would recommend for scares. Okay.
Well, I'll go with anything with Elsa Lanchester.
Yeah, she's terrific. She's terrific. And so great. But yeah. And so anything else, Dave?
No, to be continued. You folks have a great Halloween. Stay well. I'll talk to you soon.
Yay, 3 cheers. Oh, and by the way, if one wants to see a good adaptation of a Ray Bradbury book, Fahrenheit 451 with Oscar Werner, the 1967 film directed by Francois Truffaut and also starring Julie Christie and Cyril Cusack, is a film that I very much love, and Ray loved it too. He really liked that adaptation, so I would recommend it.
How's Something Wicked?
Not good, not good. Problematical. Jonathan Pryce is good in it, but the 2 kids suck, and there's a lot wrong with it, sadly. But they've yet to make the great version of that book, and I'm sure someday someone will. So okay, so so David, have you found any Mr. Sci-Fi questions?
I have.
Okay.
We have here Mark and Elaine from Scott Baker.
Hi, Scott.
What's the status of your progress in developing the grant proposal for Unreal Engine?
Glad you asked. We sent in a new video and a whole bunch of new concept art, and they emailed us back that they're going to get back to us very soon. But we're also going to be seeing if we can have a conversation with one of the executives there and really, get that thing moving, because we are actively pursuing everything now, and life is good. So okay. And was there a second question, David? If not, that's fine.
People do we have left?
Doesn't matter. We can continue on.
Yeah, why don't you continue on?
Yeah, Michelle, it's your turn.
Hi there.
Hi.
Okay, let's see. Several things. One is that I don't know if anybody else had the same reaction to candy corn as I did when I was a kid. I was totally convinced that the different colors of it had different flavors, and that I would eat the little tip at the first part, and then the middle part, and then the last part, and I was convinced that they were different.
Uh-huh.
Which flavor M&Ms did you like best?
I always ate the chocolate ones first because chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah.
The brown ones were, as far as I'm concerned, the brown ones were chocolate-er than the colors.
Yes.
For chemistry, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie and Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah.
Dan fell to the screen. Everybody I knew looked at it. Well, oh my God! Looked at 2 of them. They just shimmered, and it apparently for a long time after that. And then about the New Mexico situation, a very close friend of mine is a retired weapons master. He knew and knows the father of the lady who was handling the weapons on this.
Yes.
Apparently, Daddy twisted some arms to get her into the union and into the position she was in.
Yeah.
She should not have been a lead weapons master on this. She should have been an assistant.
Yes.
He wasn't ready for it. There is a lot of blame to go around.
Yes.
Starting with probably with the producers because of corner cutting. What was done to make the below the line crew walk off was extraordinary and stupefying.
Yes.
Expecting them to do 12 and 13-hour days and drive 50 miles to the hotel in Albuquerque instead of being in Santa Fe, which is why they will. Some more blame around for bringing in scabs. Some more blame around there for the assistant director who handed off the gun.
Yes.
I personally don't think that Alec Baldwin is responsible for anything in terms of actually firing the gun. He was practicing, but gun went off. He said, according to his things, he didn't even have a finger on the trigger. They had other misfires before that where the gun went off without anybody, going bang bang deliberately.
Right.
So that's all I've got to say on that. Other than that, the movie where I did the part of the ballet double for Barbara Hershey is now called The Manor, Manor.
Great.
And out, and it's on Amazon.
Great.
And there is almost nothing left of me. The scene where I'm actually dancing turned instead of the person dancing toward the hallucination of her late husband. Instead of that, she's just sort of staring hypnotically and walking toward the hallucination. Nevertheless, I am credited on screen as Judith Older ballet dancer. There's another woman in another section where she's supposed to be younger, who is credited as Judith Younger ballet dancer. And thank goodness they actually hired somebody who knew what the hell they were doing. She's a real dancer.
Yes.
She looked great.
That's great.
And I looked like that when I was, at that age. That would have been fine if I could go back in time and do it. I don't know what the structure is of the fact that I am given screen credit on that, but that I am not really recognizable on it. I don't know if that means eventually I get, the 14 cents residual that one gets from things that are directly to Amazon or not.
Yeah,
They'll find out. I'm not going to hold my breath about it.
Right. Though the one thing I should say about that movie, by the way, it's about Barbara Hershey going into sort of an old folks' home and starting to have weird, horrific things happening. It's so weird when actors from when they're young, and then suddenly they pop up and they're playing old people, and it's like, oh no, it's like the time has elapsed, and then you realize that you too are no longer a spring chicken.
Well, and she doesn't look anywhere near in person as old as they made her look
No.
in the film.
No.
And she's got a wig with long, wavy,
White
grayish
hair.
hair.
Yeah.
And I have a picture of myself with long, wavy, grayish, whitish hair because we were all matched up.
Great. Great.
But the movie is not good. It is worth it if you want to see one of the spookiest houses in Los Angeles. Downtown near the main offices of the Auto Club. It's on one corner is the Auto Club main office, on the other corner is a spectacular, beautiful Spanish church, and next to it is this spooky house, which apparently at one point was used as a home for, quote, unwed mothers, and at another point as a convent, and it's a very strange house indeed. 4 stories worth of it. So for that and for the very surprising ending, if you want to watch it, but it ain't gonna see me.
Okay, but you might want to get your footage if you can. You might want to contact the production office and get your footage for your reel. That might be a very good idea.
Yeah, I could try and do that.
It's worth it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and also Michelle, Dave was mentioning Night Gallery. I know you actually were in Night Gallery, so that's pretty exciting. What were you? Go ahead, please. Say that again.
Make Me Laugh with Godfrey Cambridge.
Yes. So
that's the one where he, for the rest of you who may not remember it, it's the one where he's a comedian and he wants to become a serious actor, and people are so used to laughing at him that he wants people not to laugh anymore. He wants to be taken seriously, and he tries to do a dramatic part, and it doesn't work because everybody knows he's the funny guy. And he is bewitched in some way. I don't remember quite what the story track is. And he said, they said, don't worry, no one will ever laugh at you again. And he walks across the street and gets killed by a car. And so, of course, no one's ever laughing at him again. And there's a little shot of a little old lady who's selling flowers with tears coming down her face. It is not probably one of the better night galleries.
Yes.
And spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, come on. That's like 40 years ago. So come on. So what?
Footage of me laughing.
Yes. There's footage of you laughing.
And wearing a really wretched wig.
Okay, great. Well, that's great. So anything you need? Anything else?
No, I'm waiting on somebody who referred me to their agent, and I don't know whether I'm, getting that thing that people do where they don't know how to say a clean no, thank you, or whether there is just a legitimate delay going on.
Yes.
I need is representation.
Okay.
And if anybody has an agent that they like and would like to refer me in, I would be thrilled.
Cool.
This is the first I've ever been not represented at all in my years that I've been in SAG since I was 19.
Okay.
So I'm flying blind here.
Yes. So we'll put our thinking caps on in that regard, and
Cool.
yeah. But great, 3 cheers, Michelle. So is there a Mr. Sci-Fi question, David?
There is. We have one from Scott Gamble. Mark, other than candy corn, what was your favorite Halloween candy to acquire as a kid when trick or treating?
Huh. Well,
Get it?
yes, I do get it. I get it. And I always liked M&Ms. I always liked Nestle's Crunch. There was a thing called the Clark bar they used to have that was very, very tasty. Those Bavarian mints were good. There were a variety of stuff. There were a lot of that. The one thing I hated as a kid, of course, were apples. Some you'd have some little old lady who would just have the apples as though that's a treat. And it's like, gee whiz, lady. I mean, this is the 20th century, but I remember one time. See, I grew up in sort of a middle class or lower middle class neighborhood in Pico, Beverlywood, and one year my mom took me to Cheviot Hills, which was a more upbeat, more affluent area. And there, instead of getting the little Halloween size candy bars, they were giving you full, milk chocolate bars. And I remember one guy had a basket from his balcony and would lower the basket and be filled with like really cool things. So rich guys actually gave better treats, and that was a lot of fun. But there are photos of me dressed as Mr. Spock.
Did you ever get change in your Halloween candy?
Change? You mean like money? Once in a blue moon, yeah. But
we used to go up to Royal Oaks, and that was where we got the Lottie Dot candy, and they would throw pennies and nickels in.
That's fun. But yeah, but also my when I was a kid, I was an only child being raised here by a working mom in LA, but my father had remarried and was raising three of my brothers in Orange County. And I think one Halloween I was there, and those suburban neighborhoods, they really, really did it up. I remember one couple was dressed as Fred and Wilma Flintstone, and they built this like fake cave, and I mean everyone was like just doing it up, and that was a different world, different culture. So but it was interesting to observe it. So yeah, so there you go. So now I guess Deborah, you're next on my screen, so go for it.
Oh, Deborah, can you unmute?
Unmute?
Yeah, I'm going to.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Hi.
I've been here once before, but Mark and Elaine, you weren't here.
Okay.
So I'd like to say hi to you.
Hello.
And I love this group. It's really I was introduced by Nathaniel Freeman, and it's a really great group and very wonderful that you've started it. You started it way back in the day. So I'm getting on. I'm in my 60s, and I've been working on screenplays and things on getting them written. I'm a screenwriter. I've written 3 movies and 2 pilots for just in the last few years. And now I'm trying to get to the next level with my one screen, that's a TV series, historical TV series about an Irish sexual healer and her granddaughter. And it's sorry, I'm suddenly getting nervous, but
no.
So it's dramatic and it's funny, and it begins in Ireland and it goes on to New York City, where the son of the grandmother and the father of the granddaughter has married a Creole healer. And so this is a amalgamation of the traditions. And in the meantime, the granddaughter is trying to steal the healing remedies so that she can make a man love her. So it's quite a funny series, and I would like to. I'm looking for a producer or a director, someone who would be interested in this. Mm-hmm. It's lighthearted. It's not sexually explicit.
Oh.
But so if it was a show about cooking instead of sex. It would be a show about the Great British Bake Off instead of Hell's Kitchen.
Got it.
If you know what I mean. So it's a gentle, nice, funny. Every week, every episode, the grandmother heals someone's sexual problem.
Well, there you go.
Question with the other pieces, there's the pilots and films.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
What was their trajectory? What happened to them?
Okay, so the grandmother gets dementia.
No, Elaine. Sorry, Deborah.
Oh no, it's not a question of plot. I mean, in terms of sale.
What did you try? What worked? What didn't work?
Happened? Did anything sell?
Okay.
Did anything
sell?
I'm
a member of Dashowitz. So I've been, I did a table read with them.
Okay.
I was told to start pitching, start getting ready. I'm
great.
Really uncomfortable pitching, as you can tell. But I have developed my pitch deck, which if I can show you 2 seconds of it.
Sure.
Can I screen share?
I don't know. That would be a David Bartlett thing. Can she screen share, David? We may have to do it next time because David just was put in the.
You let me know in advance. I can probably set it up that way. I have to know how to switch you to be the host for you to screen share.
Yeah.
So I can share my screen, but I don't know if anyone else can.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So next time. So Deborah, I have a question. Okay. Where I missed this detail. Where are you located?
I'm in upstate New York.
Ah, that's where I just was. Where in upstate New York?
Near Syracuse.
Ah, I was in Bingham. I was in Binghamton.
In Binghamton. I'm in Tully. I don't know if you know that. But
sure.
Town of Tully.
The reason I was asking was because in order to sell a show, there's certain events that are held. Some of them are on Zoom. Some of them are held in person. And now that the pandemic's waning a little bit, but there's one called Scripted. There's one called Content London. That's where the executives go, and you can actually hear them talk. You can reach out to them. You can make connections. It's very, the main trick is to find someone who's looking for something along the lines of what you have. And so I would strongly urge you to start signing up. Variety has conferences as well. I would get onto some of these email lists that advertise those conferences. There's the Jeff Gund info list. I would get on that. If you Google Content London, you can get on their email list. Scripted, I think, might have one. The Variety conferences. Just Google this stuff, and you'll be able to get on their mailing lists. And I've made a lot of extremely good contacts attending many of those events. And so that's one of the things I would recommend.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll do that.
Sure, great.
And if you,
Deborah, I need you to send me an email with your email attached to it because the one you put here is not working.
Oh, okay. All right. And your email again is
DaveFilms, DaveFilms @hotmail.com. It's in the chat.
DaveFilms.
Dave.
Okay.
Films. Dave Films.
All right, I'll look in the chat.
Because it's hard because there's so many screenplays out there that we see the pitch deck, and it's great that you're working on it. Pitching is hard forever. It's always going to be hard, but the more you get it out to contests and start getting fans of your work, where other people can speak for you and spread the word.
Yes.
So so you just want fans of your work who can start to say, hey, she can really write.
Well, you find ways to
get yourself just out there.
Yes, just so. Anything else? Any other questions?
Yeah. So back with that. I've got all these other projects. Okay. But do you think it's better to just focus on one? At this stage in the game.
Well, the real question at the end of the day is what's effective. If you it's like, if you succeed, replicate that. It's sort of like I always have multiple projects going, but my batting average is pretty high. In terms of sales. What I managed to sell, what I managed to succeed with. If the way you have too many projects is nothing is getting to the finish line, okay, Some people are very good at multitasking. Some people aren't. So that's a matter of personal choice, but prioritize what are the most important steps and make sure that you're getting that done. Because obviously, if you've never finished anything, if it's never submitted anywhere, then it's pointless.
What the best thing to do is if you start to look at the people and the companies who are doing films like your films, but it's always good to have, when you go in there, you just want to pitch one thing passionately. If they say no, then you say, I have a few other things. But you start out by just pitching one, but you're prepared to pull out and say, well, I'd love to work with you. Unless you pitch something really well, I say, we love it, but we just have something exactly like it, so we can't take it. Then you say, well, I'd love to work with your company. But, I have a couple of other things that might be suitable. Right. Like I have this, you give it like a one-line thing, and I have this, and be prepared to pitch your other good things, but you start out with just the one that you think has the best shot. But it's good to have several in your pocket.
Yes, and there's always exceptions to the rule. I know some people have gone with a ton of stuff and they've sold, but that's not the regular thing. But also be aware that the reason they tell you for why they're rejecting something is usually bullshit. Okay. Yeah. It could, because really what it's about more than anything else is that you have someone on your side of the table who they already trust, who's already delivered for them. Because otherwise, why should they say yes to you?
Right.
People often think it's because what they're really looking for is a great idea. That's extremely rare. Usually they're looking for a yes that won't lose them their job. Okay, if it fails.
Oh, poor things. Yeah,
right.
I get that.
Right. So,
I get that.
So obviously, if you walk in with Steven Spielberg, if they say yes to it, if it fails, they can say, well, it was Steven Spielberg. Whereas if they say, well, it was someone you've never heard of, and I said yes to it, then they're looking for their next gig. So.
Yeah. But it's interesting. Sometimes you one expert was saying, a good thing would be to make a low budget film and get it into a contest, get it into the festivals. And what you're looking for in the festivals is not a big sale for the low budget film, but what you're looking for are producers who can help back your film. The producers within studios, they sort of they're hirees, they're basically just doing what the studio wants, which is like some executive's brilliant idea. But there are directors who don't work within the studio, producers who don't work within the studio system, but they work they work with the studio system. In other words, they create something with a fresh idea that isn't like this is a sure sale. They create a wonderful film, and then they use the studios to distribute it widely. Right. So the best people to look for are producers who work with studios rather than for studios.
Okay.
Yeah. And so start looking, being aware of the films you love that are kind of like yours.
Is it a film or a TV show?
It's both.
Okay.
Mine's a TV show.
Yeah. So
look at both.
Well, in this regard, there are film festivals, but there are also more and more TV festivals where you can submit TV scripts, you can submit spec, you can shoot pilots and have them screened there. So that's starting to emerge more and more, and so that would be worth doing. So, anything else, Deborah?
No, I think that's great. Really helpful. Thank you.
Great.
And can I show you my lookbook next week?
Yes, sure. You bet. Okay. 3 cheers. Yay. Excellent.
Thanks, you too.
So is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question, David?
Yes. To Mark, have you got anyone tasked to regularly shoot behind the scenes production stuff, maybe for a making of sometime down the road?
We've had various and sundry people. We don't have one person who's always doing stuff. I mean, I know, David, you're shooting stuff behind the scenes often, and so am I. And we've had various people doing it. At some point, it would be really lovely to have someone make a documentary on the making of Space Command. I mean, like a full documentary, because it's been so interesting to pursue this journey, to be on this journey. And but we don't have anyone stepping up to do that right now. Eventually, we might, because as Dave Edison knows, we've shot about 300,000 hours of footage. So so there you go. Yeah, Dave's.
Oh my
Dave's.
God.
Yeah, those are hard drives. So okay, cool. So let's see who's next on my screen. Marka Dashowitz, ladies and gentlemen, Marka Dashowitz. Yay! Okay. Hello, Mark.
How's everybody doing?
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Yes. Trick or treat.
Yeah.
So, just got back from a film festival where my film played.
Yay.
The screening went really well. A lot of people seem to like it.
Good.
We did a Q&A afterwards. That's real interesting questions. So that all went well. Met a lot of people. One in particular I will be inviting to come to the table.
Swell.
He's a filmmaker who life kind of took a turn, so we kind of got away from it. Now he's getting back in. He shot his first film, and they showed it at the festival. He did it with an iPhone, his wife, and his kid, and it looked freaking amazing, and it was a really great short film.
Wow.
And so I talked to him afterwards. We got along really well, and I'm like, I got this group, because he doesn't have any filmmakers near him. He's in Arizona.
Right.
And I'm like, well, let me introduce you to this group, because I think there's an Arizona table.
There is, yes.
There is. So that went really well. Got back. I'm now playing catch up with a lot of stuff.
Yes.
I've got 3 projects I'm actively working on that we're trying to get done relatively quickly. I just finished one that's actually going to be screening at a theater in Hollywood next Tuesday. That looks like it might turn into regular work, which is good. I really like working with the guy. It was a pleasant experience. A travel show that I work on off and on, and then of course the Space Command thing. Which did you get my email?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, so that's definitely on the front burner. So I'll get that to you.
Okay, so I got a lot of really long timelines right now of stuff that I'm going to try and start sending you guys for approval. I now have to go looking for all of the Comic-Con stuff, I guess, on YouTube, so that I can let Dave, who I've been driving absolutely crazy, Dave Edison, over the last couple of weeks, saying, hey, I need this, hey, I need that, hey, I need this. So I can give him a list of Comic-Con stuff to send me, so I can start going through that.
And don't worry about it. I'm not busy. I'm not doing anything else.
Right, exactly.
Well, I know. I mean, every time I call you, you're watching a movie or something. Generally, it's called Space Command, but
Yay.
I haven't gotten around to watching yours yet, but I hope to soon.
Yeah, let me know what you think of it. I'm hoping to be putting a Vimeo link up relatively soon. I just really wanted to play some festivals first before people start watching it. Because if they were all watching on Vimeo when we get the LA film festivals, nobody's going to show up. Plus, there's some festivals who frown on that, being seen on the internet first. My website's fallen a little bit behind, but I'm trying my best to keep it up. I'm right now writing about a horror film called Oculus, which if you haven't seen, best horror movie you can check out for Halloween. It's about a mirror that just sits there on a wall, but yet is scary as hell.
Great.
It's by Mike Flanagan. And
yeah, we should write down that name then.
Happy to hear that Mike's film won an award and is doing well in the festival circuit. I wish he was around to, to share in the joy of it all. But he worked hard. He was always trying to put stuff together, even with his cell phone. So it's nice to see this kind of getting some love. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, my website is Underexposed Cinematic Treasures, where I write about underseen, unseen, misunderstood movies. Please check it out. Oh, and then now that I'm back from the festival, me and another table member who I've been friends with for a long time are going to start working on a script for a low-budget feature to be shot in Arizona, where I can do it really cheap because I have access to all sorts of locations, including a police precinct. I've been promised this, that I can do this. I'm writing it into the script for free. So I think we can do it relatively cheap and learn from all the mistakes we made on the zombie film. So that's my next step. I'm rewriting the werewolf movie, and the other person's going to write this. And so I'm not going to take a break. I'm jumping right into the next thing.
Okay.
Yay.
Wow. Yeah.
Great.
So I just hope I'm not putting too much on my plate, which is my wife's worry.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like I've given it all to all sorts of people. Now it's time to give my all to myself.
Yes.
So, and that is all. That is me for now.
Okay. Yay. 3 cheers. Excellent. So, David, is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Yes.
Good.
Kevin Scott 76, Mr. Sci-Fi, the Orville fan base is sending out letters to Hulu and quitting Hulu in December.
Okay.
Signing up day of the Orville airs in January to get the 4th season. Does this make any sense to you?
No. It's I don't think there'll be a 4th season, just from what I'm hearing. It's tricky. It's very hard to get a show renewed. They managed to do it with The Expanse by switching networks, and Jeff Bezos is a big science fiction fan, so it worked. But it's very rare that happens, and that doesn't mean not to try, but executives have an incredibly different mindset from viewers, and their priorities are completely different. So and the syndication, the ramifications of syndication are no longer what they were, and so the economics of it have changed radically. So it's just there's all sorts of challenges, but at least there's 3 seasons, so that's something. So onward. So now Galinda, you're next on my screen. Go for it.
Yes. Hey, hello, lovely to see everybody. I'm Galinda.
Great.
Stan with an upgrade, and now I guess I have to say aspiring filmmaker, because I'm
Great.
thinking about it anyway.
Yay.
I'm putting things on paper. I have plans. I think I knew this was a big undertaking. I just did not realize how.
Yes.
Every time I chastise myself for not getting anything done yet, it's like, wait a minute. These things take months and even years to get together before they can come to fruition. So I have to cool my heels and not expect it to work like my grades in high school.
Yes.
Where I aced all the tests, but never turned in homework because, well, I don't know. I don't know why that happened, but that's how it worked all through my school year. It was like I was salutatorian in my high school class, and I'm still not sure why that happened. But so I have a weird ego. It's been a week, that's for sure. I had yesterday I having a kind of a rough day. Got on Amazon after work and bought myself 2 new jingly belts, and I had to get a new set of coffee mugs. I killed another keyboard because I literally just sat down and splashed up and just drenched one of my best keyboards.
Oh, no.
So my project next week is meticulously taking it apart and alcoholing all sugar and creamer out of it, because it was full half cup of coffee, a good almost 6 ounces of coffee.
Oh, Jesus.
But I've got another keyboard to replace it on the way. I've been working with an older one. But I got one that's got really big keys. These are like the keys themselves are about 1 inch, so I can type faster because I don't have to aim as carefully. Trying to use a regular keyboard now. I messaged my boss and I'm going, I am in trouble.
Great.
My typos this week have been really bad, but a little bit better. It's just like I got so used to and comfortable with the big keyboard, but it's like designed for this. They said it's for space stations and nuclear power plants, because it's a keyboard you can use with gloves. So when I get the new one, I'll post some pics out so you can see that it might be a useful one for on set or something. That I was thinking of that, but I also have a laser keyboard I want to work with. So because it shines a laser light on the table, and then you type on the table and it responds. So that might be, for my purpose, that might be best. I'm almost ready for Halloween. I decided not to go with candy because I couldn't find any space themed candy. So I ordered a bunch of space stickers and some space bookmarks. And I'm going to be out there in my silver costume with my new fancy black helmet.
Cool. Oh, wow. That's neat. Fun. That's fun.
Well, that's really, really cool. It's good.
Yes.
It's got about 1.5 inches of lining in there that's probably going to have to come out for sound.
Yes. Well, now also in terms of candy with space theme, remember Mars bars?
I thought of that. Actually, I did not quite get to that point. I haven't had an American candy bar in so long.
Wow.
the taste of American chocolate just doesn't quite
No.
childhood back. You know, I went overseas and had chocolate in Germany when I was in my teens.
Yeah.
So I think I know what it's supposed to taste like, and that, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
But if you want German chocolate, then buy Werner von Braun bars, you know, and that'll be fine. So there you go.
That's not my department.
Yes, exactly.
I did watch Mike's movie. I was very, very touched. I cried several times.
Yes.
And for a short film, that's probably saying a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not doing the Hulu thing because if I cancel my Hulu, I can't watch MASH for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And I become obsessed with I want Ryan T. Hess to play Hawkeye Pierce. I think his punny jokes and everything, I think he would be perfect.
Mm-hmm. He's a good
More
guy.
the Alan Alda version than the Scarrett version, though.
Yeah. So anything else you need? Any other questions?
No, I'm just, muddling along. Pretty excited about, Halloween getting here, and this is my favorite holiday as well.
And also in terms of Halloween, another movie that if you've never seen it, it's very interesting, is Carnival of Souls. It was made by guys who were used to doing industrial films. It was made totally outside of the Hollywood thing, the Hollywood system. It was made in the 60s, and it's really interesting. So if you like Night of the Living Dead, the original George Romero version, this will be very much up your alley. So anything else, Galinda?
That was all. Just really glad. My condolences on your brother. We were, wishing him all the best and hoping to get that donor. I'm sorry they ended up being a medical, what would be called a technicality.
Yeah. Very sad.
But, we still got a long ways to go in our science and getting it to where we can, work this out to be a quick and easy and smooth thing.
Yes, it's true, but it was really a shame. But thanks for
I know
that.
somebody who got a kidney from a living donor recently.
Wow,
and it was amazing how it happened. And when they did get it, it started rolling. It was like boom, and there it is. And he's doing so much better now. It's like such a miraculous thing. Thought we had to wait till people died to give up their organs, but no, we can actually share.
Yeah, so, it's amazing. So, but thanks. But thanks.
Yeah, and just really, looking forward to more Space Command.
Yeah,
and,
we're on it. So great. Well, thanks, Galinda. Yay! 3 cheers. Excellent. So now, is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question, David?
Yes. I saw a side note and then a question. Scott Baker, airline bottles of booze are the best to get for Halloween.
Yeah, what neighborhood do you live in? Yeah.
Liquor-filled chocolates. Those are good too.
Okay, great, fine. But so
my neighborhood. Okay, now, Mr. Sci-Fi from Gregory Krug. Opinions about Squid Game?
I haven't watched it yet. So when I've watched it, I'll have an opinion. So there you go. Great. So
you
now
started to watch it, huh?
Yeah, but
very, very briefly. I don't know if we can see this, but little Halloween decorations outside.
How lovely!
Oh, that's fun.
We got some. We got the original Aurora Frankenstein.
Wow, there you go.
Ghostbusters.
Wow.
Halloween Pez. It's way too dark for it. But
wow.
Happy Halloween.
Oh, thank you.
Yay! Thank you, Dave Edison. So now
on that note, I remember I just saw the trailer for the new Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I saw about a 3-minute trailer.
Yes.
I thought it was really interesting.
It
Great.
does. It does.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a winner. So so now it's Elaine, wonderful Elaine. Go for it, Elaine.
Okay. Well, juggling a number of things right now. Besides Space Command, which Mark will fill you in more about, we again the wonders of editing. We were able to insert pieces within a scene that really help the scene. So I love the plasticity of film.
Yes.
And still working to get hopefully to get a grant from Unreal Engine, which would be fun. But just right now, plugging away, juggling several projects, and hoping that
and dogs,
and hoping that one of them pops soon. So pops in. Yes,
Jesus.
I'm sorry. Yes, that was a bad metaphor.
That was
terrible metaphor.
Yeah.
So
keep going.
That's it. That's it for me. Just juggling and writing writing in betwixt and between, rewriting. So having a pretty good time.
Great. Yay. 3 cheers, Elaine. So is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question, David?
Did you already have a Legion question?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Scott Baker says, do you watch the psychedelic Marvel show Legion? If so, what do you think?
Nope, I don't. And again, life's, got a lot of stuff on my plate right now. But thanks for asking. So now it's me, wonderful me, yay! So as you know, I went to the Rod Serling Fest. That went great. I'm currently in conversations with I got to get together with Rod's two daughters, Jody and Anne, and we're talking about the new Rod Serling show that I want to do. We'll see. So far, so good. David Bartlett and I went to an auction house exhibition of all these costumes from Lost in Space, where we got to reconnect with Bill Mumy and Marta Kristen, who were in Lost in Space, the original, and they're both working now on projects of ours. They're Bill Mumy's in Space Command and Marta Kristen's in Sweet Haven, the show that we're creating with Rockney O'Bannon. We are actively working on Space Command. It's coming along. And beyond that, the new book is done, and I got great blurbs from Guillermo del Toro and J.J. Abrams, and on, Damon Lindelof, and that's cool. And also we're looking for representation now, and so Angelique and I have been researching and then reaching out to some of my friends for agent referrals. So Roxanne Dawson, who's my friend, who's a director now, she was one of the leads on Star Trek Voyager. She's recommending me to her manager, and Mark Fergus is putting on a word with his agent. He, as you know, he wrote Iron Man and Children of Men, and created and ran The Expanse with his partner Hawk Ostby. And so we'll see where that leads. Beyond that, we're going to be launching the Twilight Zone Commentaries campaign in a few days, where I'm going to do 104 episode commentaries to raise money so we can keep shooting stuff. And it just keeps going. The Showrunners Network is moving ahead. Everything's moving ahead. It just takes organization and application. And one thing I'll show you, there was something that was on my to get list, which is really cool. I'm going to do a video soon called the book that changed my life. And yeah, do you want? Or I can do that in a minute.
Okay.
But the book that changed my life, and there is a very specific book that changed my life, and it is this book, The Making of Star Trek by Gene Roddenberry and Stephen Whitfield. I'll hold it up like this. And this book came out when I was 13. It was the first book I ever read on how television was made, and that's when I started to think about becoming a writer, producer in TV. So it really changed my life. And for many, many years, I longed to get a copy that was signed by Gene Roddenberry and Stephen Whitfield, the two authors. And I found one on eBay, and the person wanted a certain amount for it, and I offered half, and they said yes. So then I bought it. But I said, well, what's the provenance on this? In other words, how do I know that the signatures are accurate? It not only had Stephen Whitfield and Gene Roddenberry, it had William Ware Tice, who was the costume designer. It had Majel Barrett before she married Gene Roddenberry, and it had one or two other signatures as well. So I emailed back the person and said, what's the provenance? And she said, well, my mom was a big part of the letter writing campaign that got Star Trek a third season, and here's a photo of her mom with Leonard Nimoy during the shooting of Spock's Brain. I'll show that to all of you guys. So there's that. So the provenance could not be better. I mean, that's absolutely perfect. And she sent me some information about her mom and all that stuff. So it's really cool, really, really cool, particularly because most of Gene Roddenberry's signatures that you see out there were actually signed by his secretaries. But because this one was a book and he inscribed it personally to her, this is Gene Roddenberry's actual signature. It's not a secretary. So very cool, very, very cool. Then on a sadder note, of course, as I mentioned earlier, my brother Sean passed away, and he was only 43, and he has two little kids and a wife. And so I may be flying to Pittsburgh for the funeral. They're also going to do a Zoom component for my brothers and my sister out here. But it's really a shame, really, really a shame. But as I said, Sean, we got him clean and sober when he was a teenager. He stayed on the straight and narrow. He was a really good father, a good husband. He went to church. He was in 12-step for his entire adult life, and he just built a life worth living. He even made, I'll show you this stuff. He even I'll be right back on screen in a second. He even made this ray gun for Space Command that we will soon be using in the show. So this will be he'll get a credit on the show. And so, you know, shame he couldn't make more. He was going to be making more of them, but alas, time and fate did not allow. So, so anyway, that's about it. So, we're here every Thursday. We're going to be starting in person very soon. And, we'll just keep going. And thank you all for being here as ever. And it's been another great evening. And we will see you all very, very soon. So good night. Bye, guys. Talk soon.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Thank you.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to everyone. Talk soon. Bye, guys.